Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurfara Adiba binti Malinain. I am a student from UITM branch Tapah Perak. So today I would like to share with you guys about acid rain. Before that, let me introduce myself first. As I told you guys, my name is Nurfara Adiba binti Malinain. I am from AS120 course. And my class is A4AS1201_7 and my student's ID is 2020625682. So what is acid rain? Acid rain is a rain or any other form of precipitation that is unusually acidic, meaning that it has elevated of hydrogen ions, which means low pH. Basically, we know that rain clouds are a form of pure water, but sometimes gases such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide chemically react with the oxygen and the water at the atmosphere, and this will fall back to Earth in the form of acid rain. So, how do these gases reach at the atmosphere? Well, there are two main sources for it. The first one is natural source, like rotting vegetation and erupting volcanoes, which both of these will release some chemicals that can cause acid rain. The second one is most acid rain is a product of humans' activities, like burning of fossil fuels, smoke that coming from vehicles, and the third one is chemicals that release from the factories. So now let's move on to acid deposition. There are two types of acid deposition. The first one is wet deposition and the second one is dry deposition. So what is wet deposition? Wet deposition of acids will occur when any form of precipitation such as rain, snow, and so on removes acid from the atmosphere and delivers it to the Earth's surface. This can result from the deposition of acid produced in the raindrops or by the precipitation removing the acids either in clouds or below clouds. Wet removal, like aerosol and gases, are both important for wet deposition. Next is dry deposition. You know, acid deposition also occurs via dry deposition in the absence of precipitation. This can be responsible for as much as 20% to 60% of total acid deposition. It occurs when particles and gases stick together on the ground, plants, or any other surfaces. So now comes to the questions for this topic. The first question is, what causes the rain to turn acidic? So the first one is burning of fossil fuels. But before that, it is important for you guys to understand that the normal rain is already a little acidic. So while it falling towards the ground, it will dissolve carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and will form carbonic acid with the pH of 6. When we burn the fossil fuels, it will release some gases such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide. These both gases will get into the rain and form acid rain with the pH 3. Next is rotting vegetation. You know, plants intake some sulfur to grow that they obtain from potassium sulfate, which is already present in the soil. The sulfate is consumed through the roots as the sulfur atoms bond with the carbon atoms in the leaves protein. When these plants eventually die after millions of years, it will turn into coal. So these sulfur atoms and carbon atoms will remain intact. When we burn the fossils of these dead plants, the sulfur atoms and carbon atoms will mix with the oxygen in the air. This reaction will release sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. When the sunlight hits these gases, a chemical reaction will take place where the sulfur dioxide, for example, reacts with more oxygen to form sulfur trioxide. This eventually mixes with the rainwater and forms the sulfuric acid. The third one is smoke that coming from vehicles. You know, vehicles will release smoke that contain nitrogen oxide. So this nitrogen oxide will release into the atmosphere, which they will react with more oxygen and mixes with rainwater to form nitric acid. So now, the second question, which is, what is the effects of acid rain to environment? So the first one is, acid rain will affect to the aquatic environment. Why? Well, because acid rain will make the water become more acidic. This results in more aluminium absorption from soil, which is carried into lakes and rivers. This makes the water more toxic, and it is not good for the aquatic animal because they cannot survive in the toxic water. Next, acid rain harm forests as well. But how? Acid rain will damage the leaves and robbing the soil of essential nutrients. This makes it difficult for trees to consume more water. So now, we need to stop acid rain. But how? Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of ways that we can do to stop acid rain. So the first way that we can do is we need to produce energy without using fossil fuels. Instead, we can use renewable energy sources like solar and wind energy. Next, we need to reduce the vehicles usage on the road. But how to reduce the vehicles usage? We can share the car with our friends who want to go to the same way with us. Last but not least is reducing the pollution by using the coal that contains less sulfur, so that when we burn the coal, it will release less sulfur dioxide as well to the atmosphere.